Hello and welcome back to another Chinese food adventure. Today I'm continuing my travels through Guangxi province and I'm saying goodbye to the beautiful Yangshuo and I'm saying hello to another county in Guilin called Pingle. And yes, you heard that right. After a week and a half here in Guangxi province, I am still within the city of Guilin. Although I don't know if can someone help me out in the comments below? Because Guilin is absolutely massive. It's made up of a lot of different counties. So there's like the city center. I don't know if I refer to that as Guilin City or the entire area as Guilin City. And if I don't refer to the whole area as Guilin City, what do I refer to it as? Cities work a little bit different here in China to what I'm used to back home in Australia. I always get confused. So what exactly is in Pingle, you might be asking? Well, something very, very interesting. It's famous for something called Yang, which is basically 18 varieties of stuffed foods. Everything from chili pepper, tomato, eggplant. I even saw them stuffing beansprouts. So as soon as I saw that, I knew I had to make a trip. It's only about an hour drive away from Yangshuo, so we are currently en route. And yeah, today we're eating stuffed foods in Pingle. Join me for this food adventure. Although the landscape is quite similar to its neighbour Yangshuo, the vibe couldn't be any more different. There are no tourists here, no foreign restaurants, no souvenir markets. It's crazy that only an hour drive down the road, you can feel like you're a world away. So I have arrived in Pingle. It's just past 9:30, so feasibly I have room for about maybe 3 meals today. So let's see just how many of these 18 stuffed foods I can stuff into my body today. So I'm starting off nice and simple. I'm just gonna go to a restaurant close to my hotel. It should be just across the road here and see what kind of stuffed foods they have on offer on the menu. So they've got a big variety of stuffed dishes here. So here we've got stuffed lettuce, stuffed chili, stuffed bamboo shoot, stuffed eggplant, stuffed bitter melon, stuffed pumpkin flower, stuffed egg, stuffed radish, stuffed garlic, and stuffed river snails, which we actually tried yesterday in Yangshuo. I think what's most interesting me on this list is the stuffed pumpkin flower and the stuffed garlic. But long story short, because it's still early in the day, those two items weren't available yet, so I just asked for her recommendations.
这个菜包酿好吃。
哪个菜包？菜包是什么？
菜包就是青菜。
To say I was shocked would be an understatement. Qingcai is a green leafy vegetable. How the hell are they going to stuff that?
它上面老板娘在上面打，你去看一下。
可以去看一下吗？哦，好。Turns out cai bao niang is simply pork wrapped in lettuce leaves. I don't know, guys, would we say wrapping is the same as stuffing? Does this count? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. The waitress also recommended I try the stuffed chili, as well as the stuffed bamboo shoot, which was stir-fried with tomato and fresh chili. They've also kindly given me extra small portions, so I'm able to eat as many different varieties of stuffed food as possible. And here we are, our first 3 Pingle stuffed foods. What a moment. Well, I think I might start with what the chef said is her favorite one, which is these cai bao niang. And inside is all these yummy delights, including, I think she said peanuts and glutinous rice and pork. It smells really good. It smells really peanutty, actually. I like that the greens on the outside still have a little bit of a crunch, and then on the inside it's just a very, imagine just meat and glutinous rice together, that kind of texture in your mouth, and a little bit of a crunch from the peanuts. It's really good. It's quite peanutty, and now that I've actually swallowed it and I'm kind of tasting around my mouth, the flavor that's coming at me is the mushroom. So they're also quite mushroomy. Who would have thought a little lettuce wrap could deliver so much flavor and texture? Okay, next one I'm keen to try are these chili peppers, stuffed chili peppers. She said it's not that spicy, so let's see. And inside we have, again, pork, glutinous rice, and you can see the mushroom sticking out there as well. Ooh, it smells like capsicum. And when I say capsicum, I mean this thing on the screen that I'm gonna put. Every country has a different name for it, but that is what I think it smells like. It's good too. It's a very similar mouthfeel to this, because I think it's quite a similar stuffing, but I love that pepper on the outside gives it a little bit of extra freshness and zappiness, and yeah, I can't feel a spice yet. I'll eat another one, see how I feel. Yeah, I can confirm it wasn't spicy at all. And this one has a bit more saltiness and soy sauciness in it because it was stir-fried with quite some sauces, whereas this one, she didn't add anything to it except for some oil. So I like that this is letting the original flavor sink. So that brings us to stuffed dish number 3, which is the stuffed bamboo shoots. For some reason, I thought bamboo shoots were smaller, but yeah, I definitely made that up in my head. This is what a bamboo shoot looks like. Oh, yum. It's interesting, there's actually a slight curry taste to it, curry twang, which I don't know where that's coming from, but it's a really nice texture. The bamboo shoot gives it a little bit of not a chewiness, but like a bit of structure, if you know what I mean, and the inside is super, super soft with that pork filling and a little bit of mushroom in there as well. So I feel like this one is a bit more complex in flavor because it's been stir fried with a lot of different things, some tomatoes, some chilies, some capsicum, some spring onion. So that's giving this a lot more flavor rather than just the filling and the outside. I guess moral of the story is each of these 3 stuffed dishes have had a completely different vibe. The only thing they've really had in common is they're quite oily. You can see the layer of oil there, which resulted in me needing quite the digestion nap. So not gonna lie, that meal took quite some time to digest. It's just after 4 now, and I've come to this place here, which actually has Shibanyang in the name of its restaurant. It's called Shibanyang Shiboyu. So I think the odds are they will have some stuffed foods inside. That they do indeed. This seems to be the place to come for stuffed goodies in Pingle. They even have a sign showing the entire range of Pingle's 18 stuffed foods. I think I'm just gonna go with the more unusual options, things that I probably wouldn't get to try in my day-to-day life anywhere else. So for that reason, I decided to go for these 2. The top one there is stuffed garlic. It's actually stuffed garlic heads, so not the actual bulbs of garlic, the little stem that comes out of the top of the garlic. They've stuffed that. And the second one that's jumping out at me, oh, I'm very interested to try this. It's actually stuffed pomelo skin. So we're going into the fruit category here. I don't know how they're actually gonna do this, but I'm gonna see if I can get into the back kitchen and get some more details about how this is done. First, she's working on stuffing that pomelo skin, which I guess isn't as hard as I originally thought. I forgot just how thick pomelo skin is. They just need to cut a little slit in the side and then they fill it with pork. Next up, she's stuffing the garlic sprout. It's been pre-cut to allow easy access for that pork, and once they're stuffed, they're tossed into the wok, resulting in the most amazing smell. I'm sure most of us have experienced that smell of garlic frying. That's exactly what this smelled like, but better, because you also got that savory tang from the pork, and then when the fresh chili and fermented black beans were added, it added an extra layer of smell absolutely out of this world. Unlike the other stuffed foods we've eaten so far, the pomelo skin is cooked by boiling. It's boiled until the skin softens enough for eating. 这个会有水果的味道吗？
没有。
没有。
对，这个有一点点带，有一点点苦。
Oh. I was told it would need a bit of time to boil, so I decided to get stuck into these delicious looking stuffed garlic stems while they were hot. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, wow. That is a flavor bomb in my mouth. It's garlicky, obviously, but not in like an over-the-top, unmanageable way. I don't have that feeling like I've just downed 5 cloves of garlic. It's more subtle because it's not made from the actual bulb. It's spicy because he's put chili in there. It's also very umami thanks to those little black beans he's put in the wok as well, so it gives it like that extra dimension of flavor. Oh, I love black beans. Whoa, Sisya. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool. Sisya. Fair to say I didn't expect to see this on the list of Pingle's 18 stuffed foods. And I'm very, very intrigued to try the flavor of this. The chef let me know that it's actually gonna have a little bit of a bitterness when I eat it, so let's give it a go. Moment of truth. It smells quite salty and savory. I'm so juicy. I didn't realize how juicy this was gonna be, and literally after 1 bite, look how much water has fallen onto my table. That's from 1 bite. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, juiciness, this would be at a 15. This skin is so juicy, if I could choose 1 item to take with me to the desert, it would be this, because it could fulfill my water needs for probably a week. The skin is quite soft. The flavor that I'm getting, like a slight bitterness, like a teeny bitterness, but otherwise it's just the taste of that pork inside. Just like a savory, meaty kind of taste. I was interested to find out from the boss that the list of Pingle stuffed foods isn't just limited to 18. Apparently, they'll stuff anything here in Pingle.
能酿的都可以酿。
And before coming here, the stuffed food I was probably most interested to try was the stuffed bean sprout, because it's just such an inconceivable concept how you actually get to stuff a bean sprout with anything. It's so tiny. And I just asked her about it, whether they do it, and she says yes, but you actually have to book it ahead of time. And the reason for that is it's not popular. People here don't really like to eat it. And the reason for that is
因为那个豆芽它跟那个肉嘛，那肉熟了，那个豆芽还没有熟，那个豆芽太嫩了，所以不推广。
But if you're interested like me to know how they actually go about stuffing a bean sprout, it turns out they actually grab maybe 5 or 6 bean sprouts and then put the pork inside like the cage of the bean sprouts. It's not just 1 bean sprout that's been stuffed, which I guess makes a lot more sense and is a lot less dramatic than I had built it up to be in my head. Okay, last meal of the day. It is dinner and I'm gonna make it count. I've got 2 more stuffed foods in me, I think. And I'm gonna get here what I wasn't able to get in the other 2 places, which is the pumpkin flour. I'm gonna get a stuffed pumpkin flour. 我都不知道南瓜有花。
你不知道南瓜有花，你不在农村长大，你怎么知道嘞？那你肯定不知道了。
And they also have another one that's appealing to me. It's called 水豆腐娘, which is basically stuffed water tofu. Also, can I say I'm absolutely loving these picture menus in Pingle. First to arrive was the water tofu stuffed with pork and stir-fried with tomato, capsicum and chili. And it smells so fragrant. I can't even describe how good this smells. And I'm loving when dishes come with some tomato because it just adds a little bit of extra freshness. Oh, yum. Okay, time to try some of that stuffed tofu itself. Oh, that's my new favorite of the day. It's really oniony. It's really salty and savory with a little bit of sourness thanks to those tomatoes. Also, can we appreciate the little performance happening behind me here? And that tofu is divine. It almost has a texture of silken tofu, but it holds its shape, whereas the silken tofu would have fallen apart by now. 这个太好吃了。它叫什么呢？小花咪。小花咪。There was such a sweet vibe in this restaurant. I somehow felt like I had joined a family dinner. 去给我吃是吧？ Whoa! Whoa! I got a little star. 这是什么水果呀？这是杨桃。杨桃是什么水果？ Oh, cool. I've actually never tried this fruit before. It's called star fruit. And yeah, what a great opportunity. Thank you, small child, for presenting me with another food adventure. It has a more crunchy texture than I was expecting. I love this. It's like sweet and sour. It reminds me of the flavor of a sour gummy worm. The blue and the red ones, you know those ones? It tastes like that. Anyway, time to get back to our stuffed tofu. I was just about to mush it up with some rice when my beautiful pumpkin flowers arrived. Now, doesn't that look like some kind of 5-star dining This massive plate of stuffed pumpkin flowers was only 40 renminbi. That's a little under $10. I'm sure I'm not the only one who would be willing to pay a lot more for this. Oh my gosh. Well, let me finish my tofu little thing I'm doing over here and then we'll get to that. Because I really want to try with some of this yummy sauce all together on that rice. Mush it up a bit. Oh yeah. This is a dish I would come back to Pingle for. Whoa! 是当地特色吗? This plate's for a customer, but she actually brought me my own little tasting plate. And would you check out that jiggle? Can't wait to try this. Really refreshing and light and subtle. Oh, and the aftertaste here as it's going down my throat, it tastes like maple syrup actually. Basically, the perfect little palate cleanser to prepare our taste buds for the pièce de la résistance, the stuffed pumpkin flowers. I feel bad for even picking one up and interrupting this vision of a meal. Look at this. Oh, it smells like pumpkin, funnily enough. For some reason, I didn't think that it would smell like pumpkin because it's a flower, but I guess it is the flower of a pumpkin. So I guess it only should make sense that pumpkin flour tastes and smells like flour, like pumpkin. Anyway. Oh, yum. It's like all the meaty goodness of like a meatball. It's got all that delicious pork in there. It's so tender and flavorful, but with like a slight tang. Well, not really tang because pumpkin doesn't tang, pumpkin's more mellow, but it has that mellowness of a pumpkin to it and a slight sweetness and a slight pepperiness as well. I do have to say, unexpectedly, my favorite is still this this tofu here. The flavor on that is absolutely incredible and I love the texture of this tofu. I could eat this every day. Well, can tick that off the bucket list. Spend a day eating stuffed foods. Have to admit, it's a bucket list item I didn't really know existed until about a week ago when I first heard of this. And for me today, the highlight hasn't only been the food, but the people I've met along the way. Every place I've been to today, there have been people willing to take me into the back kitchen, explain to me about their food and their culture. And as always, I feel super, super appreciative to have this experience and to be here eating this local, authentic, stuffed foods. And I hope one day you guys get the chance to come here to Pingle and experience it for yourself. But until then, it's been lovely seeing you here. Make sure you press that subscribe button, please, 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 and thank you. Hit that like button, make a comment and let me know which of these stuffed stuffed foods today that you like the best. Anyway, that's gonna be it from me. I'm gonna go to bed and start slowly digesting this day of food. I will see you next week. Bye from Guilin. Bye.